So today, we're going to do something a little different. We're breaking down a piece of car tech that promises to be the ultimate eyewitness. But instead of just looking at reviews, we're going right to the source, the Amazon product page itself, to really see what the company claims it can do and what thousands of actual customers say about it.
I mean, really, everything. The car that just swerved into your lane, the person who dinged your door in the grocery store parking lot, what's happening on your left, your right, in front, and behind, all at the same time. It's a pretty amazing promise, isn't it?
Well, there's a product out there called the IIWEY N5 that makes exactly that claim. So for this explainer, we're essentially going to unbox its product page. We're going to dig into the marketing, the tech specs, and thousands of customer reviews to figure out what's real and what's just, clever marketing.
All right, Section 1, a car's all-seeing eye. Let's start with that huge promise.
So the magic phrase here is 4-channel recording. This isn't your standard front and back dash cam. No, this is a whole system. It's capturing 4 different video feeds at the exact same time. One from the front, one from the back, and then 2 on the sides to cover your blind spots. It basically creates this 360-degree surveillance bubble around your car.
And what about the quality? The page makes it very clear. It's 1080p resolution on all 4 of those cameras. And that's a big deal. It means you're not getting one really nice high-quality view out the front and then 2 grainy, totally useless videos from the sides. They're saying the standard for clear, usable footage is there all the way around.
Okay, Section 2, decoding the tech specs. So how does the technology behind that big promise actually work?
Now this is where it gets pretty interesting. The power source. Instead of a typical lithium-ion battery like in your phone, this thing uses something called a supercapacitor. And why should you care? Well, think about where this device lives, on a dashboard that can get crazy hot in the summer. A supercapacitor is built for those extreme temperatures. Plus, it has a much longer lifespan, so you're not going to be replacing it in a couple of years.
Another key piece of tech is how it connects to the app on your phone. But look at this. The product page goes out of its way to list the exact steps. And this kind of gives you a hint that there might be a little friction here. It's not automatic. You have to physically press a button on the camera to turn on the Wi-Fi every single time you want to connect. That's a super important detail to know ahead of time.
Let's move on to Section 3, the customer verdict. We've heard the promises, we've seen the tech. So what do more than 3,000 actual buyers think?
Well, the top-line number looks really strong. Out of more than 3,400 global ratings, the IIWEY N5 is holding a solid 4.5-star average. That's a fantastic signal right out of the gate.
And when you dig into that number, the story gets even better. A massive 79% of people gave it a perfect 5-star rating. I mean, wow. You throw in the 4-star reviews, and you're looking at almost 90% of customers walking away happy. That's really impressive.
Now this is where it gets juicy. Amazon's AI can summarize what people are talking about in the reviews. And check this out. Installation and video quality are just overwhelmingly positive. But then look at Wi-Fi connectivity. While it's still mostly positive, the ratio of negative mentions is way higher. This tells us that the connection process we saw a minute ago, it's a real pain point for some people.
And this quote right here, this is the voice of that happy majority. It hits on the core promise, that full 360 coverage, and it confirms that, yep, the 1080p video quality really does deliver. This is what those 79% of 5-star reviewers are so excited about.
But then you have the other side of the coin. This review perfectly captures that main complaint we saw in the data. The camera itself works great, but connecting to the app can be a real headache. It's the classic story, right? Amazing hardware that's just a little let down by a clunky software experience.
Okay, on to our final section, and it might be the most important one. Reading the fine print. This is the stuff most people just scroll right past.
You really got to pay attention to this slide. These are the potential gotchas. First, the manufacturer says you have to use their specific car charger, not just any old USB cable. That 24-hour parking mode? Yeah, that requires a whole separate kit you have to buy. That Wi-Fi signal we talked about? It shuts itself off after 5 minutes, probably to keep from overheating. And, this is a big one, this model does not have GPS. All of these could be deal breakers for some people, but they're listed right there on the page.
So the takeaway here is pretty clear. This is a genuinely powerful camera that pretty much delivers on its main promise of 360-degree vision. But getting the best experience out of it really depends on you knowing all these little details and quirks beforehand, from the power cable to the Wi-Fi connection.
And
All of this leaves us with a much bigger question. As tech like this gets cheaper and more common, are we just heading toward a future where every single angle of every drive is recorded by default? And what does that mean for our privacy, or even our sense of security on the road? It's definitely something to think about.